Hello and welcome back to another one with us, the Review Bros, and today we're going to be looking at a non-stim pre-workout by the guys over at Next Level Labs. It's called Primal Pump, and how will it fare as we cover the usuals, taste, price, label and effects. Will it be your next non-stim pre? We did review their stimulant-based one about 4 weeks ago, and we really liked that one, so hopefully this one we like just as much. But if you are new here and you do like our videos, please do hit the like button, hit the sub button, tick the bell icon, so we drop about 3 reviews a week. But let's get into this one. Okay, so first segment of any review, taste and mixability, and we've got the pleasure of trying out Blue Raz flavour. Also comes in peach rings and watermelon. I probably would have gone for peach rings if I was a consumer buying this product, but Blue Razes are normally a safe bet, so let's see how it goes with this one. Mixability wise, it is a reasonably big size scoop, so I will say that's mixed very good, all things considered, considering it's a non-stim. Yeah, well above average on the mixability front. Let's see how it tastes. Do you know what, when I first tried it, I really hated it, but it has grown on me the more I've used it, obviously. But there is like a definite, undeniable kind of like damp, laundry, weird undertone to it. I can't put my finger on it. It's very strange. Obviously the blueberry flavour's there, a nice sweet blueberry flavour, but then it's kind of like, it's obviously the ingredients that are coming through, the taste of them. But yeah, like just a damp kind of unpleasant flavour is kind of lingering in the background, but it's not, I'm probably making it sound a bit worse than it actually is, because actually Aaron didn't find it too bad at all. It's one of those things, taste is always discretionary, but let's give it another go and I'll give you a score out of 10. Yeah, it definitely is growing on me. The more I'm drinking it, the less harsh that nasty side is for me. So if you'd asked me what I'd give it out of 10 a few weeks ago, I probably would have said like a 4 out of 10. But after having used it and I've settled into it a little bit, I'd be happy to give it 6.5 out of 10. So it's still above average. It's just not as nice as I was perhaps hoping, but it's also not horrific. So yeah, do bear that in mind. Maybe, you know, if you want something a bit more exciting or a bit more out there, then choose for one of the, you know, go for one of the other flavours. But this one is, it's okay. It's okay. Let's move on to price. Price time. So what will you be paying to pick up this pre-workout if you are in fact interested? Well, you head over to their official website, nextlevelsups.com, where you can use our 20% discount code RB20. You can pick up this full 30 serving tub for only $39.99 or $1.33 per the serving. And when you convert that over into UK pounds, it comes to £1 2p a go, and when you put it on our consistent pricing scale that measures the expensiveness of pre-workouts from across the world, where a 5 out of 10 is considered to be bang average, this comes in at a very nice 8 out of 10. So it's priced way better than an averagely priced pre-workout on the market. So obviously the question is now going to be, what sort of pre-workout are we getting for that money, and how's it come together in the real world? Is it ultimately going to be good bang for buck? Let's find out together right now. Okay, let's get into this label then. So we're getting ourselves a 15.35 gram serving amount, which is probably around average, maybe slightly above average as pump formulas go. But anyway, let's get into it. So we've got ourselves some B vitamins up the top and some meat and some magnesium just to get things moving, get the body ticking over and things firing as they should be. You know, general bodily function. Nothing that you're necessarily going to feel in the gym as such, just background stuff to sort of fill in the gap, shall we say. But we move into the main meat and potatoes of this label with L-citrulline at 4 grams, which is an okay dose. You know, a lot of people look for 6 grams, even 8 grams. We're even seeing 10 grams a lot these days, but 4 grams is the lowest end of getting the job done. So you're still going to obviously get benefit from it. It's going to increase your nitric oxide production, increase your veins, increase blood flow and nutrient delivery. So love to see that. And then we've got, pairing up with that, L-arginine at 2.5 grams, which might explain the more conservative dose of the L-citrulline, because they're going for a synergy effect here. And obviously L-citrulline is the precursor to L-arginine. It's just in studies that L-citrulline is proven to be more effective at actually getting you pumped than giving you straight up L-arginine alone. But where they've got both in here together, there should be a bit of a synergistic effect to bring about, like I said, more nitric oxide production, more blood flow, more pump. However, I would probably argue I'd rather see just 6.5 grams of L-citrulline rather than splitting it across both of those. But, you know, it's nice to see them going down a slightly different path. So, you know, they're doing their own thing. Fair play to them. Then we've got glycoside, 65% glycerol, 1500 milligrams, which is an okay dose. You know, we have seen 2, 3, 4, 5 grams in a pre-workout before, but 1.5 is at least enough to get things moving. That's like a bit of a sponge type ingredient, hyperhydration, so it's going to pull in water into the muscle cells, swelling you out, increasing endurance and increasing your pump. Nice to see. Then we've got beta-alanine at 1500 milligrams, which again is on the lower side. We normally like to see at least 3.2 grams to get that itchy tingly sensation. 1500 milligrams, you may possibly avoid that. So if you don't like the itchy tingle effect, but you do still want to be taking beta-alanine to some degree every day, then it might be a happy medium for you. But it is around about half of what we'd like to see. That's the absolute fact of the matter. But yeah, it's a bit like creatine in that you've got to take it for a consistent period of time every day to build it up in your system to yield the effects, the benefits, which are increased endurance with, you know, via buffering lactic acid. So you might get an extra rep or two here or there, possibly. But yeah, with it being a lower dose, it's obviously going to take longer to reach that saturation point. So that's the negative side of doing it that way. But hey ho, at least it's in here. Then we've got taurine at 1 gram, which is a nice dose. It's pretty much the typical dose. It's another amino acid, a bit of a jack of all trades. It helps with your energy production, your focus, and your pumps in the form of hydration. Then we've got creatine magna power at 750 milligrams. It's a low dose. You normally like to see anything from 3 to 5 grams for this ingredient, but it is a registered form, so we'd like to think that it's a pure potent form of creatine. But obviously you guys probably know what creatine does by now. It helps with your endurance, athletic performance, pumps, hydration, everything. It's probably the most studied, most beneficial supplement that you can actually get hold of. So you can make an argument whether it belongs in Pris or not, but yeah, we've got it in here nonetheless. So hopefully we get a bit of benefit from that with it being at a lower dose. Then we've got agmatine sulfate at 500 milligrams, again another low dose. We normally like to see 1 gram to up to 1.5 grams even. That's another way of bumping up nitric oxide levels, tying in with the L-citrulline to increase blood flow and pump. It also has some other side benefits such as pain reduction and helps with focus and some other little side notes to it, but ultimately it is used for pumps. And then we've got L-tyrosine at 500 milligrams, which is, it's about half of what we normally see. We normally see at least 1 gram, if not a couple of grams would be lovely. So yeah, another bit of a low dose here, but another amino acid should help with your focus and mood. Will it at that dose? Maybe a bit, but it's just a shame that it's not dosed at the amount that we would get the most out of the ingredient, which can be said for a lot in here. Then we've got N-acetyl-L-tyrosine, 125 milligrams, pairing up with the existing L-tyrosine. So still going to be a low dose overall, but at least we're getting a tinsy bit more on top. Again, I think I would just prefer to see 1 gram of L-tyrosine rather than splitting them across the two, because the pure L-tyrosine is, in studies, been proven to be the more beneficial one, even though N-acetyl-L-tyrosine is the more water-soluble one. So people thought because it's more water-soluble, it must be more bioavailable, but that's not always the way, and it's not the way in this case. Anyway, side tangents aside, I think the label has a lot of potential if it was dosed correctly. I think if all of those were clinically dosed, the label would be like, oh yeah, I'll take that. But again, it does reflect the price point. So do remember that, guys. Obviously, we are getting a bargain where the prices are concerned, and that's reflecting in the label. What you could do, which is against the price point, obviously, is you could double up. So you could take 2 scoops. So then you're getting 8 grams of L-citrulline, you're getting 3 grams of glycoside, 3 grams of beta-alanine, 2 grams of taurine, 1500 milligrams of magna power, and that's what I'd like to see. I feel like that's what I would, and even on the side it says you can't do more than a scoop, but you need to take 2 scoops to be really touching on clinical doses, which then would make the price point, well, what did I say? It would make it £2.04p a go, or it would make it like $2.66 per serving. So then, yeah, we really are ramping up the price doing that, and you will get through the tub in 15 days if you take it daily. So it's a shame. I really do wish it was dosed higher, but at the same time, it's good for people on a budget and beginners and people that are a bit smaller that necessarily don't need, you know, maxed out ingredient. So I feel like there is a niche for it, and ultimately what it depends on is how it comes together in the gyms, which is what we're going to be finding out right now. So we shall be back in the effects section and let you know if it's worth picking up. Okay guys, it's effects time of Primal Pump in the several times we've both used it. So what do we really think in reality? Well, let's start off like we always do with the beta-alanine. It's in here at just under half the dose we normally look for, and I got a slight, and I mean very slight, heating sensation, so I could just about work out that, you know, something's kicking in. But I would say, you know, it's the usual. If you don't like it, that's a good thing. If you do like it, then you're going to wish that it was double that dose at least. So yeah, there's that. So you notice something in the background. I'm talking like 1 out of 10 on the tingle scale. So very, 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 very mild. What comes in after that? Obviously it's a non-stim, so we're not going to notice anything kicking in immediately or potently or anything that's going to wake you up and make you think, whoa, this is hitting me now. Obviously with non-stims we are looking at everything other than energy and stimulation. And you are getting a bit of focus in here, so let's talk about that first. You're getting a bit of taurine, you're getting a bit of L-tyrosine and N-acetyl-L-tyrosine, and they're the main needle movers with regards to focus. But to be honest, those are, like I mentioned in the label section, underdosed to the point where very negligible effect, if any, in the real world. So I wouldn't say I noticed being focused on this pre-workout any more than normal, but what I will say is the pumps are actually surprisingly good considering the label. Obviously you've got the L-citrulline and the L-arginine that sort of come together to make a nice nitric oxide boost in force, and then you've got the glycosides that sort of gives you that Michelin man look to a degree, and a bit of taurine, you know, alongside it to help with that side of things as well, and the agrantine sulfate. So I just wish there was more. But the pumps were still good. Like I said, it performed a little bit better than I was expecting based on the label. So yeah, slightly above average pumps for a way better than average price point. So I guess if you're weighing it up that way, you could sort of argue you're getting a little bit better than what you're paying for, but not by a great deal. I would prefer them just make it a more expensive pre-workout and then dose everything clinical or above. Like I said in the label section, if you really want to be hitting clinical, you've got to 2-scoop it, and then you really will just be flying through the tub, which obviously we always go by the directions on the tub, so 1 scoop it is in this scenario. So yeah, there was no negatives to the product. I didn't have any digestive issues. Obviously it's not going to suppress appetite or keep you up with it being a non-stim. So yeah, pumps were surprisingly decent, fair enough, but I feel like there was potential for it to be so much better if there was more in it. But yeah, factoring in that price point, I think that you're not getting a bargain, you're not getting ripped off, you're getting about right, like I said earlier, maybe slightly better than what the price is offering, or the label's offering in reality. So yeah, it's an okay non-stim. That's the best I can say about it. I wouldn't say go right out and buy it, nor would I necessarily say avoid it. I would say shortlist it if you really are on a tight budget and you're looking for something that's not going to break the bank. Then like we've already discussed, this is a very cheap product by the serving. So, you know, about £1 to go, you can't really sniff at that, and you are getting pumps on it. They're just not as extreme as you can see in a lot of other non-stim formulas, which are a lot more stacked, but also a lot more expensive. So you do have to kind of take it on its merits. So yeah, it's a nice budget-friendly, okay non-stim, but does leave you wanting a bit more. Because just think, if I've already said it, just imagine that exact label, but really juicy dosages. You know, that would be a different story altogether. But yeah, it's just a shame. It is just a shame. But at the same time, it's not awful. So yeah, I'm not going to sit here and slam it. If it was an expensive pre-workout, I'd be looking at it in a different light, but it's not. So I'm not going to be expecting crazy things from a very cheap price point, because that just wouldn't make any sense. But yeah, anyway, out of the 2 pre-workouts, we do definitely prefer the stimulant one, so do go and check that out. I think that was called something Fierce. I could be completely wrong there, but I think it was Fierce or something. But yeah, that one we really liked. This one is just okay. It's just, all right, fair enough. Gets the job done, no frills, nothing too exciting, but also it's super expensive. Anyway, with the risk of repeating myself, I will draw a line there and say that's everything. I think I've covered it all. If there is anything else you want to know about this pre-workout, let me know down below in the comments and I shall get back to you. But yeah, that's this one covered today, guys. As always, stay pumped and cheers for watching.